it's Omnidog here with another edition of Read This, Not That, where I take either a series or a writer who perhaps isn't the writer's strongest work, or the book is not the strongest thing that you can purchase, and tell you instead, read something else. So here we go. The first example is the infamous Heroes in Crisis. Only this isn't Heroes in Crisis, this is Heroes in Crisis, The Price and Other Stories. Apparently this is better. Now, Heroes in Crisis was a big editorial mess up where they got their hands in it. Tom King didn't get to do what he really wanted to do, and people, of course, blame Tom King for it when it's really DC's editorial department that's at fault. No matter, Tom King gets the hit. And I don't have Heroes in Crisis anymore. It left my collection, so this is a representative of Heroes in Crisis. This is supposed to be better, by Josh Williamson. So don't read Heroes in Crisis by Tom King. You don't need to at all. Instead, by Tom King, what you should read is The Human Target, Books 1, Books 2, Volume 1 and 2. These books are stellar. Christopher Chance is the human target, where he is a master of disguise, and he disguises himself as the person who is worried about the assassination attempt, or life has been threatened, and then he works to get it solved from there. Who's put out the hit and take the person down, etc. Let's first talk about the brilliant Greg Smallwood art, which is freaking amazing and suits the, oh boy, look at the shadowing and everything on this. In this, Christopher Chance has been hired by Lex Luthor because Luthor's life has been threatened. Only this time, well, let me think without spoiling it. Somehow it's Christopher Chance, the human target himself, who ends up the target accidentally. Or is it accidental? We don't know at all, because Tom King writes a brilliant murder mystery told from the perspective of Christopher Chance, of a mission gone wrong on his point. He was supposed to, well, I can tell you this much. He was hired by Lex Luthor to take the assassin's bullet, or however it was attempted. And instead, Christopher Chance is the one that's affected. And he has about 12 days to find out who has murdered him. That's all said on the back of the book anyway, so I didn't spoil anything. Tom King has a real way of taking and Tom Taylor does this too. I'm going to do a video now that I think about it. Tom Taylor and Tom King both have a way of taking C-list characters and elevating them to A-level interest. Tom King, along with Greg Smallwood, do a magnificent job of keeping you interested, enthralled. It's a thriller. It's a murder mystery thriller told from the murdered's point of view. And he is, if you don't recognize her, that is Ice. And it is a brilliant detective murder mystery thriller. And I say, in all sincerity, this is 2024. So far, this is my book of the year. I know it came out in hardcover last year, but I just got around to reading it this year. Come for the art, stay for the great story. It is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. The Human Target. So ignore Heroes in Crisis, read Human Target. The next book on my list of, I know I kind of named it backwards. It's really don't read this, read that. not read this, not that, but too late. My wife already made the thumbnail. Some of you are probably not fans of Brian Michael Bendis's Superman. Fair. I'm not sure editorial messed this one up. I think maybe it was Bendis's idea to age John up. And I don't hate it like a lot of other people, but I can see why people are unhappy with it. I'm a Bendis fan, and even I sort of, on the 5-star chart, 10-star chart, I would probably give this a 6. So don't bother with Bendis' Superman. Instead, what you should read is Bendis' Batman in Batman Universe. This is, it starts off as a Riddler story with the Riddler riddling having stolen a Fabergé egg. And Batman, of course, has to solve the crime. Riddler stole the egg, leaves a bunch of clues, but there's also an all-star cast that joins Batman in this: Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Jonah Hex, and it's really, really fun. It is really good and really fun. Now, one thing that makes it fun is that there are an awful lot of quips being thrown back and forth. And for those of you out there that think, well, Batman doesn't do quips, if it's handled the right way, it can be fun. I'm not saying he smiles or laughs or eats pie or something, has a piece of cheesecake, whatever. No, he's bantering, as he normally does with just Alfred, but he's bantering with a lot of people, a lot of his co-stars. And this is a genuine detective puzzler mystery that features Batman being displaced in time and space at times. But it's a genuinely good thriller mystery. And I like the way Bendis has handled Batman in this. I think he's very well written. I think that if you give it a chance, Batman and Superman always take on the personalities or the style of their writers. So this may not be the Batman you're used to seeing, but it's also, he's in full detective mode. And of course, he's the world's greatest detective. And there are multiple mysteries out there besides solving where the Riddler is with the Fabergé egg. There's something about that egg. Well, I don't want to show that because that will spoil it. Okay, this doesn't spoil it. Oh yeah, Nightwing's in this too. Bitewing is not, sadly, but I think this came before Bitewing was created. Now, this book's a couple of years old at this point, but it is genuinely fun, and I really, really love this book, and I think that you will too. This is a much better use of your time than Superman by Bendis. Now, I go to my iPad because some of these books that I didn't care for enter the not in my house collection, not in my house anymore, and so I have to find it on Hoopla or the DC app or the Marvel app or whatever. This one, to avoid, you should avoid anything post Hellblazer 300. This was, I believe, the New 52 Constantine, Hellblazer. It doesn't matter. You should avoid all New 52 or Rebirth Constantine. Whoever's writing it just never really gets the feel of the Constantine we're used to from Hellblazer. I read all 300 issues of Hellblazer. Love it. I think it's one of the best series out there. But they never quite are able to capture the essence of Constantine. Justice League Dark in Rebirth and in New 52 does a better job of it. But if you're interested in reading a good Hellblazer Constantine book, then you should be reading Cy Spurrier's Hellblazer, which got cut off after 12 issues, but apparently he's back writing it, which is awesome because Cy Spurrier nails it. He totally gets what John Constantine's all about, and this is John Constantine Hellblazer. So it's in the Sandman universe. It starts off with a Timothy Hunter story. Let's see, I don't want to spoil that, but yeah, it starts off with an apocalyptic Tim Hunter story. So you should have a little knowledge of Hellblazer and the books of magic Tim Hunter, but you can pretty much get what's going on in this first story. It's written very well, but for this first story, you probably do need to have a little knowledge of who Tim Hunter is, actually. You can wiki him or whatever. You don't have to read all 3 books of magic to get who Tim Hunter is. You can read the initial books of magic. That's a great book. That will tell you exactly what's going on in this post-apocalyptic fight. Then it places Constantine back into modern-day London, where he is kidnapped in order to help provide a small, large gang, I think it's a small gang, of guys who do speak a lot of Londoner gangster jingo. Jingo? That's not the word I'm looking for. Not jingo. Bingo, jingo, tingo. Jargon. Maybe jargon's the word I'm looking for. So he's been captured, and his talents are needed to help this gangster / magician and his crew eliminate the competition, or somebody gets killed. And this goes on, but there's, of course, many more subplots going on in this, including a mystery benefactor who may or may not be a version of John Constantine from the future that has helped him, and he is hanging around for parts. The art is really good, by Aaron Campbell. Let's make sure that I'm getting that right. Yeah, Aaron Campbell does the art throughout. Great colors by Jordi Belair. Constantine meets other magicians, other mages throughout this, and it's written really, really well. Both of these books, this is one long arc after the Tim Hunter story. Both of these books, fantastic. This gets John Constantine 100%, and Cy Spurrier, God bless him. I'm glad he's back on working on Hellblazer. So this is what you should be reading, not any other New 52 or Rebirth Constantine, because those just struggled so hard to get to. He seems so out of character. Yes, I'm aware he's a fictional character, but Cy Spurrier gets it right. The last thing I'm going to tell you not to read and tell you to read instead, don't read the newspaper. Why would you want to read the newspaper? Everything out there is horrible, and you wonder why I reluctantly leave my house. It's because of the newspaper. It tells me what's going on out there. I don't want to be out there. So instead of reading the newspaper, what you should read is the fabulous 3-book set of the Tea Dragon Society, which was first introduced to me by Omnicat / the Comic Slayer. This is a lovely, delightful fairy tale with wonderful art that has many things going on in it, but mostly we center around tea dragons themselves. Right here you can see a tea dragon. In this magical world, tea dragons from their antlers sprout these tea leaves that make incredible tea, and it depends on what kind of tea dragon you have, but you have to take good care of these dragons because they each make their own kind of magical tea. So not only is this about the care and feeding of tea dragons, but it's about all the amazing people that our main protagonist comes across in her quest to not only be a blacksmith, but to raise a tea dragon. This is a very gentle, well done fairy tale. All ages can appreciate it. Grown-ups will dig it. Kids will dig it. I dig it. It is just a lovely, lovely book. And it's got 3 books: Tea Dragon Society, Tea Dragon Tapestry. Tea Dragon Tapestry is the 3rd book. Yoink! Tea Dragon Festival is the 2nd book. And as you can see, they're all oversized. They're available in all kinds of formats. You can even get paperbacks of them if you want. But there are many different themes and stories that go on throughout this, not only dealing with our main protagonist, but all of the people that she encounters in this world. And it is so fun and so relaxing and such a great break from everything else. Even if you sit in your house all day and do nothing but read comic books, like me, sometimes you need a break from whatever you're into. This, I don't want to call this a palate cleanser because this is much more substantial than that. You take a trip into this world, you're going to wish you could live in this world. That's how great this book is. This is one of my, that's a little, I don't want to show that. It just shows some dragons battling it out in the sky. That's okay. I mean, they are dragons. You can pull a message from it if you want. There are multiple messages of friendship and acceptance in it. Or you can just be surface level like I generally am and just say, this is just a nice, relaxing story. You really do need to read all 3 since it's one continuous story. There are, as I said, many ways to buy this, or you could probably even, it's from Oni Press, so I don't know if you could hoopla it, but I really don't think you'd want to hoopla it when you could get it in these oversized books, because it tells such a wonderful story that you're going to want to see it all the way through. So those are my recommendations for what not to read and for what you should read in its place. And you can go ahead and like, please, by this video, subscribe, leave me a message, send comments. I love comments. And subscribe, link, peace and love, peace and love. Everybody be good to each other out there. All my viewers are so incredibly important to me. I hope that if you're a new viewer, you enjoyed this. I have a wonderful community that I really love. So everybody out there, be good to yourselves and be good to other people. Peace and love, peace and love. Thank you.